Are you interested in understanding GLP-1 medications like Ozempic, Wegovy, or Mounjaro? Then join us on the Plus Sides, Cracking the Obesity Code, the groundbreaking podcast helping people change their lives one episode at a time. The Plus Sides podcast is a disruptor. We're breaking down barriers, smashing stereotypes, and sharing inspiring stories that'll leave you feeling informed and empowered. Join us every week to learn from doctors who are specialists around GLP-1 medications like Ozempic, Wegovy, and Mounjaro. They'll provide you with science and facts to validate these incredible stories. But that's not all. We'll also bring you the voices of the GLP-1 Mounjaro TikTok community, real people who face the challenges of obesity-related diseases and disorders and discovered the incredible plus sides of GLP-1 medications. Our episodes are filled with heartwarming stories, laughter, and moments of triumph. You'll connect with our amazing community members who are reclaiming their health and experiencing their fullest lives. Are you ready to embark on a journey of discovery and empowerment? Tune in to the Plus Sides, Cracking the Obesity Code, and together we'll change the narrative around obesity and end the stigma. Subscribe now on YouTube or your favorite podcast platform and join our incredible community. Let's celebrate the plus sides of life together, because every story deserves to be heard. Every life deserves to shine, and everyone deserves access to expert knowledge and medication. The Plus Sides Podcast. You're not alone. It's not your fault.
I'm Dave Knapp, man on the Mounjaro. That's why I'm here.
Big news for semaglutide.
I'm the most elusive of all the doses. So I have a couple theories, and I'm interested to hear yours. The first, who likes my Karnak hat?
Jokes about terzepatide.
You are on the pen.
Hey.
Hi, everybody.
There we go. We got it all done. Thank you to our sponsors for making this show possible so that we aren't all working a million hours a week, and we can pay people to do things. Yay!
Passion. A million hours. Passion.
Passion. Yeah.
More
Yay.
footwork. More
So we have a
footwork.
great show. We have
Yep.
a great show tonight. It looks like lots of stuff. Hi, John. Are you doing
So
well?
excited.
Okay.
I tried to get some of my friends. I'm going to take a super teeny weeny second. If my friend Will is on the live tonight, I told him to come out. He's in Omaha, Nebraska, and welcome to the club. He's on Wegovy.
Oh, huzzah! Welcome.
Welcome, Will.
Hey, Will. I love it. I love it. We're so glad to have you. Lots of learning and fun tonight. So show's going to run a little bit different because we got a special guest, which you may have seen the promos for. I don't know, because TikTok suppresses my shit. So fuckers.
Yeah.
Anyway, so here's what we're going to do. So when we normally will do like intros, you guys know who we are. But normally we'll go over and do what we call the GLPT with JT's tea time. We will still do that. But first we're going to have our guest on because frankly, that's how it's going to work. You'll be happy. People that are new, if you don't know me, my name is Kim. I'm an obesity care advocate. This is the Plus Sides Podcast. We are an educational podcast. And if you weren't paying attention to the commercials in the beginning because you were like, ew, that's what we do here. We're an advocacy podcast. And we interview doctors and experts all about these medications, but we also give a voice to the TikTok community, to the YouTube community, to Insta community, anybody that struggles with the disease of obesity, type 2 diabetes, PCOS, insulin resistance, Hashimoto's, blah, blah, blah. Okay.
All the things.
And they come on here and they bravely share their stories and testimonies. We are trying to combine knowledge, right, and education, right, and move the heart at the same time because we want to hashtag in the stigma. So we're really glad to have you with us. And this is what we do every other Wednesday. We do lives, but we do have episodes every Wednesday. So we hope that you will come. This is a free educational resource. We do have people that are members that contribute monthly to help us keep going, but you don't have to. You don't have to. Your engagement is like everything. Sharing it, liking it, commenting. That's the way to go. We love it.
Yes.
Okay. So that's it. So, and this is Kat and Jardine. If you guys will do quick intros and then we can invite on our guests, that would be great.
Hey, I'm Kat Carter. I'm Kat Carter 7 on the Tiki Talks. I have lost. Okay, so I'll be honest with you. I'm probably about down 65, not 70 anymore because of real life and situations and slow responding. Shout outs to the slow responders. Me and my man Dave. Cheers. I'll cheers cheers that with my coffee, with my Prince cup.
There are plenty of slow responders.
They are. Yep.
Yes.
There's what is it? Comfort in numbers. So I'm
Yeah.
here.
You're great. You're doing amazing.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah. Who cares? It's 5 pounds.
Girl, listen, I go up 5 pounds since vacation. Like everybody goes up 5 pounds and down 10 pounds all the time. It's not
I've
even
been playing with So
yes. Not
So
gaining and
Connor's-
feeling good. Health is good. Numbers are good. That's the goal. What about you, JT? Hey, who are you? What you doing? Why you here?
I'm JT. I'm the Janine on all socials. I have corn in my teeth because I just like wolfed down some food. Yeah, kind of. So
Get it.
if you see me talking like this, it's because I have corn in my teeth and I don't want our guests to see corn in my teeth. But I am currently in maintenance. I'm on the Manjaro and yeah. And
Manjaro?
yeah.
Manjaro, like a Midwesterner.
The Manjaro.
I say.
And so yeah.
Okay.
So that right there's my story and I'm sticking to it. That's it. I'm ready.
Tell
All
you
right,
folks,
let's go. All right.
folks, I says, hey, that's a Midwest.
Real quick, before we get started, there's something that's very important that we want to discuss. And I want to bring on a community guest that you may know. Hey, Jack.
Hi.
Jackson.
I'm on the show. Am I on here?
Guys, you're on the show. Hello.
Okay. Hi, everyone. First of all, I would be remiss if I didn't say Happy Juneteenth as well. So I want to acknowledge that. But then second of all, I want to thank the Plus Size podcast for contributing to the Trevor Project and your generous donation as well, and all the community members that have donated. It will be linked to donate to the Trevor Project in the bio of this episode, but I do want to go ahead and talk a little bit about the Trevor Project and what they do. So the Trevor Project is a non-for-profit organization that provides crisis support intervention for LGBTQ youth. They also fight for very progressive legislature to try to aim to shut down like conversion therapy camps and things like that. Not many people know that there's still the majority of our states still do not have a ban against conversion therapy, which is absolutely insane in 2024 to still have that active. So it's a really good cause. It helps children that are need support when it's needed most, when they are considering not being here anymore. So crisis support intervention is so important, especially for the youth. And if anyone wants to support that, it'll be linked in the bio. Sorry, I don't have any water. And it'll also be on my page on my TikTok. It's JackLeMay03, and you can click where the showcase and things are. It's the first thing. It says Trevor Project, and you can donate there. You'll get a receipt so you can write off on taxes as well, and it helps a good cause. So thank you, everyone, and thank you for having me on here.
Absolutely, Jack. Thank you so much. And this gets a lot of replay. We'll make sure that it is linked in the show notes. And I believe Tay has the link too, where we can paste it in here. So if you want to click away and go donate right now, listen to your heart, do the right thing. Okay.
Thank you, everyone. Y'all
Thank
have
you,
a great
Jack.
day.
Thanks for coming
And
up.
enjoy the episode. Bye.
Thank you, Jack.
And now let's invite on our guest of honor this evening, Z. What's up, Z?
Hey, how's it going? Thanks so much for having me.
How are you?
Y'all are so, I mean, I was smiling ear to ear. Y'all are so happy and excited. It's like,
Yeah.
it
We
feels
like our
good
lives.
to
We like
be
our
on the
lives.
show.
Energy. Yeah, we're so glad to have you.
Great energy.
All day.
Yeah.
Great
Yeah,
energy.
look,
And
so
even in the
we-
comments, people were like saying hi to each other, welcoming each other back, checking in
Yes.
on everyone. It's really
High
sweet.
fives.
You may get some questions.
We are
Let me get some
on
questions.
GLP1, so we're happy.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah,
There
we
you go.
are, because we're not sick anymore, which is great. Yeah.
That part.
So a big thing that we talk about here is how sick people need medicine, because truthfully, like if you have a disease, you have a sickness, you have an illness, and you deserve care, and you're worthy of care. And a lot of times people can't find the care that they need. And a lot of times it's because there's just not enough doctors, and there are not enough obesity specialists, and there are not enough endocrinologists, and there aren't even enough practitioners to be able to serve the amount of people that struggle with this disease and related diseases and disorders. So telehealths are very important. Plus SideZ has partnered with a few, and we would love to hear more about Ro and what Ro does. And we would love to hear about something that you're doing to help during times of shortage as well, because it's important for us to bring good resources to our community. So if you could educate us and tell us a little bit about you and what you do, how you help people, we'd love to know.
Yeah, there's a lot there. I will start. There's so many things. I'm happy to talk about all of them.
So cool.
I'll start a little bit with sort of like why I started it. And then I'll talk a little bit about what we do, and then would love to jump into some of the things we're doing around the shortage. But the why for me is really like I'm trying to recreate the experience that I grew up with my dad. So my dad is a physician. And I can tell this part of the story with a smile on my face, but each person in my family, myself included, has had some life-threatening illness at some point in time. So I have a congenital heart condition. My sister's had her own challenges. Same with my mom, and my dad has had 4 heart attacks and a stroke. And but growing up, the really interesting thing when your dad is your doctor is that yes, they care about your health, but they care about your health in service of you living a happy and fulfilled life. Right. So Janine, some of the things that you just said, like I'm happy I can do X, Y, or Z. Right. And so my dad, when I was struggling with my heart or other health challenges, he talked to me about it, and he cared about it in service of my accomplishing the things that I wanted to do. And I think that often removed a lot of the stigma attached to seeking out healthcare or really figuring out, again, how to best use the available tools to unlock the life that I wanted to live. And so I wanted to recreate that with software. I'm sure a therapist would have something to say about recreating my dad with software and working on that for 7 years. But that's what we love to do. So at Ro, we talk about what we're building is this concept of goal-oriented healthcare. Patients come to us and they tell us what they want to achieve. I want to have kids, and we have fertility products and services. I want to have better sex. We have products for sexual health. I want to lose weight, and we have high-quality obesity kits centered around GLP1s. And so that's how we started, and our philosophy is really to try and deliver the most effective care possible in the easiest way for patients. And the way that we do that is we vertically integrated the most important parts of care delivery. So we have a national digital doctor's office. We own and operate our own CLIA certified and CAP accredited lab, and we have pharmacies throughout the country. And it's the seamless integration between those 3 things that allows a patient to just come to us, say what they want, and then we work backwards to help them achieve that. So that's a little about why we started, or how we started, what we do, how we think about it. And then I'm sure I'm preaching to the choir here in a lot of the comments. I'm sure a lot of the people in the comments have had challenges with the shortage over the last 2 years, right? So, I mean, kudos to pharmaceutical companies for inventing this incredible medication, but also, there has been supply challenges here. And, my dad has struggled. He has diabetes. He's been on GLP1s is the inspiration behind the body program, seeing the impact that it had on him and our family. And happy to talk more about that as well. But he's had his own challenges accessing the medication every single month. Mm-hmm. And over the last 2 years, we've seen patients across the country have these challenges. Even when I think about last August, Ro, on behalf of our patients, made about 50,000 phone calls to pharmacies across the country, just trying to find supply for people during the peak of the Wegovy shortage. And so what we saw, really the community, what we saw in people on Reddit and different social media channels, and I think this is a very unique to the GLP-1 community, is this incredible level of selflessness and generosity in helping people. Even this community, this podcast is a perfect example of that. The level of, like, as you said, it's a free podcast, right? Mm-hmm. The level of selflessness and generosity was really astounding, where we saw people start to try to help each other find supply. Now, in other industries, this is a very solved problem. When I go to bestbuy.com, you can see if something's in stock, you can reserve it, you can see how many are left, you can be notified when it's available. But because that doesn't exist, it should. But because it doesn't exist, it's a hunt every single month to continue to find medication. And so what we wanted to do is, when we saw people trying to do this, a few rowers was what we call ourselves, a few rowers,
like that.
Worked a few nights and weekends of the last 2 months and said, can we build a tool to automate what people are already doing? And so we built a GLP-1 supply tracker that does 2 very simple things. The first is that it allows people to crowdsource supply. So they say, I need supply and here's what I need, or I found supply. And if they say they found supply and it matches what someone said they needed, we notify them in real time within 100 miles. And we notify them of the pharmacy, the cell phone number to call the pharmacy, the address, and things like that. And then it also lets them report a shortage to the FDA in 30 seconds or less, which patients can do, but it's a little bit of a cumbersome process.
Right.
And then they can go to the website and see what's on shortage. So that's, I know that's a little bit of a mouthful, but that's a little bit what the shortage does.
That's cool. So it's almost like crowdsourcing, sort of like that's
exactly what it's intended to be. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
that's
cool.
Right.
Yeah. So as opposed to like relying on, because I know there's like, I think there are some companies that like you pay a fee and it's sort of something like that where they kind of notify you or something. It's different. You're depending on your community. Right?
Yep. And it's entirely free. You don't have to be a Ro member to use this tool. You don't have to pay us. We totally built it just for the entire community to use it. It's an open access free tool.
That's
and
great.
The more people that use it, the better and hopefully more helpful it is for people.
Yeah, that's awesome. Is it accessible to everyone now? Because I know I've seen it, but can I include it in the show notes of this episode?
Absolutely. Yep. People go to ro.co/supply-tracker or Google GLP-1 supply tracker. You can go to it. And yeah, completely free and accessible for patients right now. It's been live just over 2 weeks, so probably 2 to 3 weeks at this point. And we've had
really fresh. Yeah.
Unfortunately, we've had just almost at this point about 40,000 shortage reports of different drugs for patients in needs.
I reported one. Yeah. Sucks. Yeah. Really it's a lot. It's a lot. Yeah. And I think it sounds like it'll give sort of like better insight in general, because I do think we hear in the lives, because we all do lives, and like the lives, people are desperate and they don't understand, right? They're like, where is this? And I also think because they don't understand and because there's nothing for them to see and engage with, and they're just sort of like out on this limb. Yeah. I feel like in general, that makes you anxious and antsy. And then I feel like it makes the people who have diabetes turn against people that have obesity, and the people with obesity turn against people who have diabetes. And then people in between, they're turning against each other because they're turning against for other people. And it just creates this like chaos because of the shortages. Yeah. And none of us should be fighting each other at all. But when you don't know, when people don't know, right, it brings a tremendous amount of anxiety.
I think that's really spot on. I mean, I really don't think the general press has done patients any favors in this instance, when I don't think that we should be pitting or blaming patients for a drug shortage.
Yes.
Right. That is not in any, that's not patient's fault. That candidly is a supply chain issue that needs to be resolved as fast as possible. But we can't blame patients for accessing healthcare and trying to improve their life. The second thing is, I think we learn more and more, to your point on hashtag and the stigma, we're learning more and more where these aren't both the breadth and the cascading impact of obesity as a disease and how deserving of treatment those individuals who have it are, but also that these drugs, they're being referred to as like oftentimes like X drugs, like weight loss drugs, or and they're not even X drugs. They're not even diabetes drugs. They're not weight loss drugs or obesity drugs or cardiovascular disease drugs or kidney disease drugs or sleep apnea. You'd have to say 12 things at this point. And so my hope is that the more studies that are done and the more information that comes out on truly the cascading and large impact of these medications, really my hope is that the stigma of patients who access them will dramatically decrease. And y'all, just talking about it and sharing experiences is really part of it. And that's the last thing that we tried to add to your point is, when there's a shortage, patients feel helpless, and we wanted to allow them to report to the FDA as a form of advocacy. It's not going to show up in more supply the next day. Right. But when 40,000 patients report a shortage to the agency, and we've spoken to the agency about the tracker, there are hardworking people there who care deeply about getting patients access to the medication. And the more information they have, that does help inform them when they're communicating back to different manufacturers. That level of advocacy that is valuable for them to have when they think about how they classify medications.
Absolutely. Being able to feel like you have some sort of control and are doing something, moving some sort of needle somewhere. I think it's really important. Oh, Lord, he's here.
I got a valid question, because I heard it's web-based. Zach, are you guys also going to turn it into an app that can be on the Android phone and the iPhone?
So it's not a native app, but it should be very, very mobile friendly. So it should work. It should work on your web browser on your phone.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
See, I had a valid question, madam.
You really did.
Great question.
Great job, Bear.
He did.
What a nut.
He used his judgment. He used his judgment.
I know. It wasn't too bad. It was on point. We were good.
That's right. That's right.
So I want to make sure I give you a chance to say anything specific that you had. What we usually do is Janine comes on and we talk about the tea. So things that are happening in the news, things like that, whether it's new drugs that are being studied or whatever it may be. If you want to hang out and talk with us, you can, but I do know you have plans. So you just let me know if and when you got to go and it's cold, but you want to hang out and talk a little?
I would love to. I would love to. The only reason I have a hard stop in probably about 10 minutes is because my dad is coming over for dinner. And he flew in from
very important.
He lives in Florida, so when he is in New York, I do want to make sure that I can grab some time with him. But I'd love to hang out for another 10 minutes if you'll have me.
Okay, great. That sounds good. We'd love that.
Great. Awesome.
Janine, we're gonna need to play your tea time. Producer Kat.
We want to play the tea. Okay, let's do it. Let's do it.
I absolutely love that.
Tea. Tell us the tea, JT.
Well,
Zach, you're having so much fun. You're not going to want to leave.
This is great. I gotta say, I'm smiling ear to ear. Y'all just have such a good time.
You'll come back. It'll be fun.
I would love
to. And that means that you have to come back. So we only have 3 things for tea, but it's really 2 things. Of course, BCBS, Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan, just decided to choose violence. And they said that we are just not going to cover it. We're not going to cover Zepbound. We're not going to cover Wegovy, and we're not going to cover Saxenda. They did say that they were GLP1s, but they said weight loss medications, which we know that they are not weight loss medications. So that was number 1. And as you proceeded to read their letter that they distributed last week, so they're giving their patients really less than a month to get a game plan together. And especially when you have an approved prior authorization, and all of a sudden now, look, yes, we do write it on. Yeah. And especially when you have an approved prior authorization and it's just being revoked. It's like, wait a minute, I'm paying for health insurance. So Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan said that that patients have to go through their telehealth service, which is called Omida. And you have to go through a process where you answer questions and they will determine your eligibility for this weight loss program. Now, BCBS of Michigan said that you had to be enrolled in this program for 6 months. Well, Omida was just created last month. Okay, so fast forward. We are here on Juneteenth.
Yeah, Juneteenth, exactly.
How about that? Look, that. So we are here on Juneteenth, and there are community members that have applied with Omida. I actually have the rejection email that they pretty much said that they do not meet the requirements and that they are low risk. However, Omida did not say what the requirements were. They just said that you do not qualify for the program. So pretty much if you don't qualify for the program, they're kicking you off of the medication. So a community member sent me their denial. Sent me the denial. And I literally I said, I'm not going to read it anymore because if I do, I'm really going to be mad. Mm-hmm. But I thought that I would share that with you all. So just know that Omida, if you are considered low risk, if you have been on a GLP-1 therapy for any amount of time, they're pretty much saying that you're low risk. Well, I need to continue the treatment, but they're saying that you're low risk. So they're kicking you off. There you go.
You know what kills me about that too is in the letter, it was such bullshit. In the letter, they're like, like if you're in this for 6 months, and we know it's literally impossible because we have 6 months left in the year, right? And then they start lowering
Mhm.
BMI and being like, your BMI has to be at least, or increasing it, has to be at least 35. Doesn't align with studies or data or doctors or science or anything. But hey, we're going to make these new requirements. So it just blows my mind that they've actually approved for these people to be on these medications, and then they're just going to take them away. So when we had Rosie on the show, you guys remember when we first started blowing up, we had Rosie O'Donnell on the show, and she said that it's worse to not have access to these medications when you've been on them and you've not had food noise, you've lost the waist, you've reduced the inflammation, your blood pressure is better, your life is all you're healthier, and right. It's a fate worse than death. That's what, and she's true. I mean, it's true. That's exactly what it's like. Like, so you're just telling these people who have taken life-changing and life-saving medications, right?
Yeah.
And just taking them off.
Goodbye.
It's awful, but I mean,
here,
that is why we have compound, right? I mean, that sounds
here it
awful,
is.
you know. Yeah, it's a lot.
Here it is. So they said after careful consideration, we're unable to accept you into the program at this time. Based on the information you provided, you are considered low risk for the conditions addressed by this program. So that means that they want you to have a BMI of at least 35, and they're not even taking into account comorbidities. They just
this whole thing
want
of getting
the
fatter and getting
BMI.
sicker to get medicine blows my fucking mind. Does it not, you guys? Go get fatter, go get sicker, go get type 2 diabetes, and then we'll consider treating you. It's like when you show up to the doctor and they're like, oh, I'm sorry, you only have a little bit of cancer. Come back when it's more.
Well,
right?
we're you know, there's the same
How is it
issues,
okay?
right, with cancer medication.
Yeah.
That was pretty diabolical as well. Like cancer meds or other diabetes medication was kidney medication. I guess it's the same. I kind of want to ask you, Zach, if you could weigh in a little bit. Can we keep hope alive? Is to quote Jesse Jackson.
Talk a little bit about compound.
Is there hope down the road?
That would be good.
It's really unfortunate because I do think it's pure bias, because I think if this were another condition, I don't think that the public outrage would be such that an insurance company narrowing the label even further, overriding, I think a few people put it in the comments, overriding a physician's recommendation. Insurance is inserting themselves more and more in clinical decision making, which I know frustrates. I know y'all had Dr. Bev, who is one of one. She's incredible. I know y'all spoke to her on I think on Monday.
Yes.
You know, she posts a lot about this on Twitter, of insurance companies sort of intervening and dictating the practice of medicine, which is not what they're intended to do. So I do think it is really pure bias. I think one of the things that is missing from the public conversation is when insurance companies limit access. I think what people are missing, given the true efficacy and I mean, y'all put it really well, these life-saving medications and life-changing medications, is who this really impacts is those less fortunate without means. And it has the ability, unfortunately, I think, well, GLP-1s, because they are so effective, I think have the rare potential to bridge gaps in health equity, because they are so effective if we can get them to those who with less means. When we limit insurance access, people with money will just pay for them. They'll just pay for cash. They'll be frustrated by it. They'll, definitely, but they'll just continue to pay. And the problem, and I think the conversation that we're not talking about, is when we reduce access, we're accelerating health inequity. And so if we reduce access for GLP-1s for the next 3, 5, 7 years, you're basically going to have the top 20, 25% of the population get access to these drugs. They are going to, when you reduce the number, they might be less impacted by the shortage. And then fast forward 5, 10 years, health inequity is only going to get worse, when it could have the exact opposite thing happen.
Oh my gosh.
And so that's the heartbreaking thing to me. And I think it's what is missing from the conversation when we talk about coverage, because there's such a stigma related to obesity. I would love, and I'm trying to figure out a way, and I'd love that maybe the community has ideas to bridge coverage with the notion of bridging the gap of health inequity. And if people saw GLP-1s as this wedge to rapidly bridge that gap, I think they might see them differently. So that's my hope. But then when I see that, those are the things that I think people are missing. And because when someone with money gets it taken away, it's unfortunate, but they'll pay for it. It's really the people who don't have, which is a lot of money, several $100. And compounding, yes, is a great option for those people. But it's still a couple $100 a month.
It still is.
Where
Yeah,
it's still expensive, right? That's
right.
40% of America doesn't have $400. But what we do see is when and Ro facilitates insurance coverage, when patients are covered, right? 80% of patients, when they're covered, are paying $25. And so the difference between $25 a month and $300 a month or $200 for compounding, whatever it may be, whatever place people have access to, that's a 10x difference. $3-4 grand a year versus $300 a year. That's a big difference. And so that to me is what's missing from the conversation, is the health inequity gap when coverage is ripped away for patients like this.
Absolutely. I mean, if you think about it too, like how much of America can't even afford insurance at all, and how many of those people have?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, and then what does that do to our healthcare system in general? Like, because of all the things that we know it does lead to, right? We know it, like the data exists. I know it's, I will tell you, like, it is the hardest thing being in these GLP streets, hearing people on these lives continue to talk about these like weight loss medications. But ultimately what we do know is that I really think the reason that is, right, is because that's all we've ever had, right? We've only had medication, right, or surgery to treat the symptom of the disease, right? The hunger, right? That's all we've ever had. And now we have something that treats the hunger, but also treats the biological dysfunction and insulin resistance, right? So people continue to think about weight loss medications as opposed to the fact that someone has an actual disease, an actual problem, and they're getting, treatment for it. And people also think that, hey, if my A1C is okay, then that means I don't have insulin resistance, which is very far from the truth. So there's a lack of education that obviously we're trying to change here by bringing the doctors, because like I'm not an expert, like I bring the doctors here to tell us so that we can all learn, And so we're so thankful that Ro was able to let us Dr. Chang, which is amazing.
She's one of one. She's really wonderful.
Yeah, it'll be a really good episode. I think
I'm excited to listen.
Yeah, and I will definitely send it to you when it comes out.
Very exciting.
Please do.
Yeah. It'll be good. Cool. Awesome. Well, I don't want, you can certainly stay for the rest of the tea, but if I feel like it's getting close to the time with Dad, so
it is. Pops is coming over soon, but I really appreciate y'all having me on. And again, I'm leaving. I love conversations where we do leave with more energy than when they started. And what y'all built is really special. And I told this to our team, like the communities that y'all built, y'all have day jobs. And it's true. Like, and I say that y'all have day jobs and you spend your nights and weekends creating free education for other people and creating a space for other people to come and just bond and share their experience with one another. And it means, again, we talked about before the show started, like the internet's a great place to find your people that can support and help you through ups and downs. So I just, what y'all building is super special. And I'd love to come on and jam with y'all whenever you want, but I hope you have a great rest of your night. And thanks.
We would love that too. Absolutely. Thank you so much for coming on.
Enjoy your dinner.
Take it easy, Zach. It was a pleasure.
Thank you.
See you soon.
Tell Dad we said hi.
I will.
What about the show? He may like it.
I will.
Hey, Dad.
Definitely. Will do.
Awesome.
And, JP, about the tea that you spilled about Blue Cross Blue Shield, I think you said of Michigan. Just out of curiosity, because I don't think I've heard you say it or Kim say it, is this filtering to all Blue Cross Blue Shield plans?
They
or
say
do we know yet?
Sorry, JT.
Yeah, JT.
I'm a big mouth.
Okay, so no. And I believe that we've heard the same thing. Now, a friend of mine who's a doctor here in Atlanta said that it was for all Blue Cross Blue Shield. However, Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan covers various states. So a community member actually listed the states that were affected. And so when we first found out about it, it said Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan, and then it said and other entities. It was in very small print. And then they said it was all of Blue Cross Blue Shield, even when people were calling Blue Cross Blue Shield. So to my understanding, it is. Some people are still saying it's just Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan, but it's just like Kat says, Kim says, we all say if one PBM has announced it, we already know that something's in the works for the other PBMs.
And we saw that, right?
Excuse me,
Express Scripts, like right after this came out, Express Scripts came out with some more trash stuff, like,
But this is the same thing that happened last year in the community. It really started in about maybe March of 2023, where people were going to the pharmacy and trying to get their refill. And the pharmacist would tell them, oh, yeah, you need a PA. They're like, I do have a PA.
I remember
Yeah, no,
that.
you don't. The
Yep.
system's saying you don't.
Yeah.
PBMs were snatching PAs like crazy. And it's around the same time every year in the summer. So I guess because you're going into, what is it, third quarter?
Yeah,
So,
where budgets are,
and it is very reminiscent of last year. And it was very traumatic.
It is. It's awful.
And trauma you know what? It's like trauma. It's trauma every day. Every day you wake up like,
and it's like, have we not gone through enough? Like, but nobody cares. Nobody, that's the thing is like, ultimately,
I really think Zach was right. Like it's the bias and they can get away with it because people are not like up in arms, like denying cancer treatment to people because it's too expensive to keep you alive. You know, things like that.
Well, they try to deny cancer treatment too. I mean,
they
like,
do, and many times it works. And
diabetes medication, always diabetes medication is always the convenient one. Yeah.
But we have friends that get there. That's the thing is I do think that it's very common for people to think that if you have the diagnosis of diabetes, you will automatically get these medications. That's not true. Now, I do think that the majority of the time, if it's on your plan and if you have diabetes, the majority of the time that you may not get the one that works best for you, which sucks, right? Because that's the thing is we have many friends who have tried Ozempic, right? And it didn't work for them, but Mounjaro did. And then, insurance is making decisions for them. Well, no, you can't have that one. You have to have this one. They shouldn't be doing that. Nobody should be telling anybody what kind of medicine they should take. It should be person and their doctor.
Why did you make these drugs FDA approved for weight loss? That's what we were doing just fine without it.
Exactly. I dare you to say I don't have one. What do you mean?
Look, Kat.
We were doing just fine without it.
Yeah, I know, right? Oh, you forgot Hump Day, Kat. You forgot Hump Day.
Yeah.
Hump Day. I felt like I had to carry by myself with some decorum.
Oh, because Zach was
there. Yeah.
Decorum, Kat?
Well, when Zach was here, we had to behave.
You did a lovely job.
I can turn a switch on.
Sure. Our lives are a little more. Well, we do call it unfiltered, uncut.
Yeah,
but
I'm mad at Eli Lilly for making Zepbound because they just jacked everything up.
I think you have a point, Kat. Seriously.
Thank you, Brianna.
Because
I curled it today with my InstaWave.
Yeah. The process has been so stressful.
Yeah.
I've had to make sacrifices just to pay for compound now because
Mecca, I understand that because I'm going through some things right now. I'm going to figure out how to shuffle things because we had, and my job shifted insurance mid-year. So I'm going through just a whole lot of stuff. Yeah. But I tell you, I will try to do something.
Yeah. Here's the thing. It's like, I think something to like remember when it comes to this, because this is not the end. This is just the beginning. Like we saw it. We thought last year, and then it kind of gets a little better, and then more plans kind of come around. But like, what we really have to think about, like what the actual problem is, and the problem is that it's so big and so vast, right? We've got the bias, we've got the fact that these medications are so expensive, we've got the fact that other countries, right, are continuing to get these medications for a lot less, but for them, it's still very expensive, right? And it's like there's just problems everywhere. And then it blows my mind that Eli Lilly and Novo Nordisk continue to, and it doesn't really because I'm in marketing. And I know that the one rule of marketing is you never stop building demand. Ever. You don't, because it will catch up. And if you have a lull, then you're going to have a lull in revenue and all the other things. Right. But in this instance, maybe they should shut the fuck up. I'm just saying, like, the fact that they continue to advertise and launch new markets, and they know they're not even close to being able to have enough pens to meet the demand for the amount of scripts that are actually being written. Like, it's wildly irresponsible, and I can't even believe that they're allowed to do it. I can't even believe it. One thing I will say,
comparison to the prices
Lily said, we know we're going to have shortages going into next year. At least they said it, right? Like, I
Right.
feel like Novo's kind of like, it'll be June. It will be 2 months. Liars. Sorry. Like, it's not.
But they've been in shortage for almost like
2 years.
2 years.
Yes.
And they still haven't
Dude,
caught up.
Wegovy,
And
how long?
Eli
It's been longer,
Lilly-
right? Wegovy's been in a shortage longer, right?
Wegovy's been like almost 2 years. I mean, like literally, it's been almost 2 years. Am
It
I
has been, yeah.
mistaken in that time frame?
No. I started this
Yeah.
medication 2 years ago, and Wegovy was in shortage. So because of that,
Yeah.
my doctor started me on Saxenda.
Yep.
Because that one wasn't in shortage. And that's how I started. And I'm glad that I was able to have anything, but she was like, you ain't gonna get it, you ain't gonna get it. And then I did that for a few months, and then the Ozempic shortage got better, and I started on Ozempic, you know? And then at some point they made me do step therapy, and I started on Victoza and then Trulicity and all the things. It's awful.
And then
Yeah, you were on a lot of stuff last year. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is the largest. They generally dictate pot. Yeah. Well,
So,
well,
this makes me think of
look,
I can't remember his name. It was a TikTok that I caught. His name is Mike R. Is it Mike R? Got like strawberry blonde hair. I can't think of it.
Thank you, Stack Chaser.
But he said that
Mike is kind of new to the community.
yes.
Yeah. Like
the Blue Cross Blue Shield, what the insurance is, the letter states. He said it's very similar to Europe.
Yeah, I saw that too.
And
yeah,
he made a very great point. Well, they have state supported healthcare. So that yes, I'll follow all these rules.
Yeah.
I will go to your telehealth that's supplied by you if I can get these drugs, but we don't have state supported. We don't have national health care. So
it's much crap. I know. Straight trash. Straight.
I think it's just a straight unorganized circus because you've these drug manufacturers have unlocked the key to treating the actual cause of the illness as opposed to just treating the symptoms
Absolutely.
of it. And
people just can't
you know
they can't get out of it. Like they're so stuck, and that's the way to treat obesity, and it's not. And it blows my mind, JT, because like there's so much data. It's everywhere. But I think the reason it frustrates us so much is because TikTok's an echo chamber, right? So we think everybody knows all these things because we meet with the doctors, because we have the podcast, because the doctors that create on TikTok about it, and we think so. What did he say? Conspiracy their insurance cuts coverages.
Yeah.
Less demand, more supply for those unicorns with platinum coverage. Yeah.
But you know, I get it, but I just
don't
don't
think people that will pay cash, Didi.
Yeah, the numbers of the people who don't have versus the ones who have, I don't know. I think I don't know. I think, you know, I hate to keep quoting Jesse Jackson because I'm so obsolete when I quote, keep hope alive. What's a new one? Because that was like 88. But like, I feel like we outnumber.
That's
you know?
the only thing that
we outnumber the haves.
But
right?
Yeah, but the thing is,
if you count overweight, yeah, but not if you count
but allegedly, Eli Lilly has been surprised by how many people have been doing cash pay for these medications.
Yeah.
They didn't think that people were really going to cough up $550 for Zepbound. They did not think that.
Really?
You have obesity like
I think the reason that is though,
bullies.
I would love to know the conversion of that though, JT. Here's my point. If the conversion of that, right, is that the reason people are coughing it up is because the people that went on Zepbound and are paying the $550 were the people that were on MJ from the OG coupon who knew they couldn't go back. That's the problem that people don't get, right? It's not that you can't go back to being fat. It's that you can't go back to being sick. Those are two different things, right? So people will find a way. Now, what is that going to do? Are they paying? What's happening to the economy? Are they paying their credit cards? Right? Are they paying their bills? Are they eating enough? Are they shopping anymore? Are they using Uber Eats? What is that downstream effect? Do you know what I'm saying? Like that, I would be very interested to see what that conversion is, because I bet you the majority of those people were people that were already on Mounjaro and they had to move over. Remember you told me? So we were just looking, JT and I were, because of the shortage, I was able to get my PA approved for Zepbound so I could use Zepbound. And I got Zepbound 12.5 when I was on vacation. So JT and I were looking at the coupon. And remember back in the day with the coupon, JT, it said that because it was before Zepbound, before they launched Zepbound, remember? It was like, you help me remember the specifics. It was like, but basically you could be like, well, I have insurance coverage. They don't cover Mounjaro. Remember, what were the stipulations? What we were looking at that. But as they changed it, you used to be able to get Mounjaro without a type 2.
Yes, that's what it was. Yeah, my insurance before I didn't qualify for Zepbound or Wegovy, nor Ozempic, but they only covered Mounjaro. And my insurance still does that. It still covers Mounjaro. But Eli Lilly, I just don't like you. You created a problem.
But Kat has a point, though. And many people in the medical field had said, be careful what you ask for. Because
I remember that.
When Zepbound came on the market, when they announced it got the FDA approval, I was so happy. But in the back of my mind, I said, this is probably not going to end the way that people think it's going to end, because so many insurance coverages exclude weight management.
Yeah.
So you have to have some type of coverage for the the 550. So I knew it probably wasn't going to end the way we thought it was, unfortunately. And that was one time I didn't want to be right. I'm like, gosh darn it, I don't want to be right in this. But that's what has happened, because what the powers that be want is, if you have a type 2 diagnosis, they want you on Mounjaro. Now, even if you have a type 2, there are insurance companies that want you to have a 7.2 A1C, a 7.4, 7.5.
I've been seeing
absolutely crazy. And then anybody else that has comorbidities, including obesity, they want you on Zepbound.
Yeah.
That, unfortunately, is where we are. Eli Lilly got drugged so bad last year.
Right.
And it was because of the shortages from them. And then people saying, oh,
it's not an obesity drug. Yep.
Yeah.
You're right.
Everybody was like, oh, they're not going to rebrand. I'm like, they're going to rebrand. Of course they're going to rebrand.
Well, they have to rebrand.
They have to.
They had to. So they were kind of in a conundrum, because you've got this rock star drug. You've got it that has the FDA indication to treat type 2 diabetes, right? But we know that it treats so much more than that, right? Okay. Then, well, what about the weight management, the weight loss version? Because that's what had happened in the past. Ozempic, Wegovy, Victoza, Saxenda, right? So they kind of had to, they got it. Well, they weren't prepared. I don't know how you're not prepared, but you weren't prepared.
I don't believe
25,000 new scripts. It's just,
don't believe it, JT. Look, I'm just going to tell you. Okay, listen.
I don't blame you.
My little marketing self and my little startups, the amount of data that we have to make decisions is vast. The amount of data that big pharma, a multi-billion
they have every statistic possible.
I think that they're a $1 trillion company now. I heard it recently, but let's just say multi-billion dollars. I know that one's right. Corporation knows exactly how many people have obesity. They know exactly how many people have commercial insurance. They know all those numbers, because that is how. And I listen.
At their fingertips.
Y'all know. Oh, we need the speculating thing. We gotta, because I'm about to run my mouth.
Hold on, you ready?
Speculating. work for a major company, a very large public tech company owned by an even bigger public tech company. And I'm going to tell you that if you are going to get sign off for something like a deal, like a $25 coupon for $1,000 medication, the amount of signatures and sign off you got to have for that is vast, which means you have to have a lot of data to show why that's a good idea. Okay. So I'm telling you,
you sure do.
Lily's like, oh, I'm like, liar. There's no way. They know, but they keep doing this
Agreed.
crap. And I'm like,
food as well.
No, it's not okay. Like, I think we have to say it's not okay. It's not like I'm not appreciative that they made the best medicine and then it's great and then it's solving all these problems. Thank you. Okay. But stop charging so much for it. Like, or like it did bother me a little bit. Like when we were listening to that earnings.
But they don't want to address that though.
No, they don't want to. Right. And then on the earnings call, they're like, how are you going to get on more formulas? And they're like, it's going to take the voices of the people with obesity. And that's true. We do. And that's what we're doing on the podcast, right? We're fighting. We're talking on TikTok. That's what we're doing on all of the other platforms that we try to talk about this on. But we just keep getting shut down. Every time we get a little bit ahead, we just get shut down. Oh, new community guidelines and crap like this. Right. I don't know how we're going to do that, and it's like, if they want to get on more formularies, you're going to cut their fucking asses. I'm sorry, Daddy, if you're watching. And you're going to need to go and get on the formularies. Like, help with education. Help get out there. Fund the podcast. That's what we want to do. Fund the podcast because we'll blow it up.
Keep coming. Yeah. Well, yeah.
Hallelujah.
I mean, and I think this is what I think in the back of my head. As many specials as Oprah has done, can she freaking talk about the price?
Yes.
Can she say, hey, Eli, she had them both on the show. Why you charge so much for these poor people to take this drug and stay healthy?
Too, right? Is that she talked about it with the one on the second episode, the second one that she did, because I'll be watching. The second one
she
that
don't
she
care.
did,
That's why she don't say nothing because she don't care because she can afford it.
Talk bad about Oprah on my show.
I'm talking about Oprah. I'm saying the truth. Oprah can afford it. Why would Oprah say something to them about what they charge when Oprah got more?
Bye.
Yeah,
Oprah got more money than God.
Muted. Yes, because it will directly affect her. I'm with you, Ina. Yeah, I know. Yeah, now look, y'all know I love Oprah. Y'all know, I do, but
we do love her. At the end of the day, though, self-preservation is number one, right?
Yes, Pat. Self-preservation is number one.
Bye. No talking about it. Not on my show. Not today.
Look, blasphemy. It's blasphemy.
I like Oprah, but I'm like self-preservation.
Oh, Jack.
You know what, Jack? I bet she could.
Look, yeah, I love that. Sorry, Daddy. We should. That's exactly what we should do.
Oprah, buy the PBMs because obviously this bill that was proposed last year, the Treat and Reduce Obesity Act, ain't going nowhere.
Dixie came to visit. Sorry.
Hey, Dixie came to fight.
Dixie's like, Mom, you seem upset.
I agree, Brian.
Hello.
Brian, I like your content. I like watching it. Brian rants about his health.
Well, you know what? I forgot to ask Zach. It would have been the perfect way to exit. So, Zach, what did you think about the South Park episode?
Oh my gosh.
That would have been the best question. Dang it.
We get body positivity.
There's clearly my Vyvanse is wearing off. I'm like,
Get y'all talking about
gonna get y'all talking about Oprah.
Y'all better stop. JT gonna get y'all talking about Oprah. Why are you talking about Oprah? Y'all know
reservation.
Blasphemy.
But it's true. It's all of us. It takes all of us.
To Blue Cross affect them if people are moving to compound? That's I think they
that's
want
probably what they
want to move to compound. They don't want to pay for it.
Yeah. Oh, I meant to tell you guys. Remember when that all came out and she made that video? She was saying that if people decided to continue to take the medicine and they had side effects from it and they had to go to the hospital, that they could deny the claims.
They put that in the letter. Oh yeah. So
I'm not kidding
I got
you.
to tell y'all that too.
Yeah.
They put that in the letter that if you use these medications, cash pay or whatever, if you have any side effects from these meds, they can deny your claim for care. So pretty much you would have to pay out of pocket for your care. So they're pretty much washing their hands of it.
This is
period.
absolutely diabolical.
Isn't that horrible? I like
can't think of any other word. It is.
I want to be like, kiss your brother
diabolical.
in that mouth. Like, stop it, Dixie. Yeah, I mean, you know, well, hey, I love Oprah, and she can. But I also think she cares. She does care. Yeah, I couldn't have violent.
Maybe it's timing. I don't know what it
That's
is.
so true. I totally agree. I'm a big fan, obviously.
I mean, we are upon an election year. Oh God. Oh, the ads. Oh,
Okay. Look. Okay. Okay. So BCBS, and this was a provider alert. Let me just make sure that we get this. So now we got to lie in the hospital. Well,
yeah, exactly.
So Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan, and Blue Care Network are changing. It's affecting Saxenda, liraglutide, Wegovy, semaglutide, and Zepbound, tirzepatide. So as of August 1. Prior authorizations for these drugs will end at midnight on July 31st. A new prior authorization request will be required, and new prior authorization criteria will be applied for these members for dates of service from August 1, through December 31st, 2024. Some members will require a new prescription to align with the new prior authorization criteria if the original prescriber didn't have an established relationship with the member, which they don't say what is an established relationship with the member, or hasn't seen the member in person. For
Telehealth.
Members with a plan, for members with a plan renewal date other than January 1st, the new prior authorization will end prior to the renewal date. January 1, 2025, coverage for GLP-1 weight loss drugs, which is so wrong, for fully insured large group commercial members will end starting January 1st, 2025. For group members with a plan renewal date other than January 1st, the coverage will end on the renewal date. We're notifying the members affected by these changes and their prescribers. Keep reading for more information. We're changing prior authorization criteria for dates of service from August 1 through December 31, which is less than 6 months. Saxenda, Wegovy, and Zepbound will have new prior authorization criteria for fully insured large group commercial members. They keep saying that. All current authorizations for these medications for these members will expire on July 31st, 2024. The following criteria will apply for fully insured large group commercial members. Mind you, they keep saying that.
Yes.
Fully insured large group.
This is where the policy thing is very important, friends. Okay.
The member must be 18 years or older and have a body mass index of 35 or higher.
35.
The medication must 35. The medication must be prescribed by a health provider who has an established relationship with the member and has seen the member in person. The prescriber must document the member's current baseline weight within 30 days. The prescriber must document the member's active participation in a lifestyle modification program, that's OMIDA, working with a coach, tracking food and exercising for minimum duration of 6 months.
But it's so
JT, doesn't it say on there that come January they're not going to cover them at all?
Pretty much, yeah. So
none of it. All
they
of this
want
is
you to
pointless.
jump through these hoops for 5 months of coverage, which
they
probably haven't.
They won't get it, right?
That's what they want. So that's why OMIDA is saying to people, you are low risk. They want you to have participated in life modification programs for the past 6 months. So that means you should have started in January, but they're just telling you now.
Yeah.
Oh, Okay.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, and the prescriber must submit documentation or the request will be denied. The member must enroll and participate in the Teledoc Health program for weight management. This program at no cost for eligible members
Mhm.
that offers easy to use tools
I
and
agree. I'd have
support.
to
The
pump the brakes.
prescriber
I'm sorry, I was reading.
the prescriber must submit documentation of the member's active participation or the request will be denied.
And clearly it's going to be denied no matter what. Clearly.
Pretty
Such a
much.
bunch of
You
garbage.
know, I'm just surprised
So-
it's
so
not Weight
like-
Watchers that they chose as their own telehealth.
Right? Yeah. But like one thing to note about what you were just talking about is we were really talking about the whole being like, so JT and I both work for large companies, and our companies like our health insurance companies are what they call like it's fully they're fully no. I know what they call it. What is the wording that they use for ours? And fully insured?
Yeah, we are self-insured.
Self-insured. And that
Yes.
is and that basically is like they can make these decisions sort of like a la carte, right? While people who have these fully insured, right, plans, that means when the company, if you're going through your company, bought the coverage, it was like a out of the box. There's no customization. There's usually no obesity coverage. The fact that there's GLP coverage and people were taking it off label was like that really messed with them. They didn't see that coming, right?
No.
And that was where we saw a lot of that shift a year ago, where people were losing stuff, just like what's happening now, right? So, but what they're saying now is that they're cutting the obesity versions. I'm actually surprised that even exists. Most of those companies that are small like that are using those out of the box plans, there is no obesity coverage. So it makes me wonder.
Correct.
You know?
Guys,
Yeah.
read what Brian just posted.
A friend of mine has an insurance plan where he was told that bariatric surgery was the step therapy requirement before they would approve GLP-1 coverage. Shut the front door.
I can't even get
Oh my
bariatric surgery
God.
covered from my that's I
Just-
think what was we talking about did we mention something like, I mean, because with all the bariatric surgeons that we've talked to, I'm sure I don't remember it being like step therapy, but they alluded to something like that. Not like
Sorry.
step
Oh,
therapy, but
Life.
insurance would
Here it
rather
is.
approve that versus the GLP-1.
Found it. I found it. Okay. For Blue Cross Blue Shield. So shout out to Gina she literally listed every state. For those asking which states are on the list for Blue Cross Blue Shield, Gina has it as Minnesota, Arizona, California, Colorado, Connecticut, Delaware, Florida, Hawaii, Illinois, Indiana, Louisiana, Maine, Maryland, Massachusetts, Michigan, Mississippi, Nebraska, Nevada, New Hampshire, New Jersey, New York, North Carolina, Ohio, Oregon, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, South Dakota, Texas,
All of them.
Utah, Virginia,
all of them.
and Washington.
Alabama, Arizona.
I was just saying that song on mute. I'm like, Arizona, Arkansas, Connecticut, Delaware, Florida,
Literally,
Idaho.
thank God I
Yes.
know the state abbreviations, because if not, it would, yeah. So, yeah. So
Oh.
shout out to Gina, because she
Shout out to Gina.
listed all of the states that are
Thank you,
affected.
Gina.
Then those are all affected by what now? By which one?
Blue Cross Blue Shield, Michigan.
Oh my God. That's like everybody.
And that's what my friend who's a
I really,
doctor
you guys,
here
what
was
we're talking about,
saying.
something congressional has to happen. They're going to keep.
Yeah. And that's what he said, that he had his nurse to call. They hung up on her 4 times. And then when she finally got through, they wouldn't answer a lot of the questions. They said that it's going to be pretty much for Blue Cross Blue Shield across the board. And they asked why. And they said, we don't have to answer that.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Did Darian? I want to make sure I'm saying his name right. I agree. Oh my God.
Exactly. Yep.
Unbelievable, these people. You know what? I say all the time, like doing this podcast, it's the joy of my life. It's the honor of my life, right? Being able to do this and be a part of the community and move what I think is forward. But oftentimes it does feel like 5 steps forward, 10 steps back, right? And a lot of that for me is because there are hundreds of millions of people, if not billions, that are suffering.
I agree.
Needlessly.
Better get louder.
That's the hardest part. That's why I keep going and being like, guys, that's why I'm such a freaking crazy person about this stuff. It's why I'm always on lives. It's why I'm always trying to get us sponsors. It's why I'm always tagging Oprah and things. It's because I just want more people to know about the podcast so we can get louder, because there's so much misinformation. It just makes me sick.
This is like, I think, the first live, and we've done many where you have a moment, but this one.
Yeah, I just felt my heart like hit the floor when you read all those states.
Gut punch.
And I am so sorry. Literally,
we have
I
to
found
know.
out
That's
about
why we're
this.
gathering. There's power in numbers.
I
We're
mean,
gathering to learn.
I mean, literally.
We need all of you in the
a
audience. We're
community
going to do
member.
something. Yeah.
Literally, a community member told me while I was on live, and she typed in the comments, "Have you heard about BCBS?" I'm like, "No. What are you talking about?" I had no clue. We were on a mid-morning live, and she sent me the letter because she works in healthcare.
It's raining
Everyone said
tonight.
Everyone said that my face went like white. They said that I turned like all of the melanin left my face.
All the melanin. JT.
It was that bad.
You went white. Oh, you went crap. The bossa nova guy. Sorry,
I went Casper.
I will say that's why I tell people all the time when they're like, "Oh, I only want to choose a company that I know has obesity care coverage and insurance." I'm like, that shit don't matter.
Which one? Because they don't.
Because here's the thing: regardless if they have it, I think we've all seen clearly it can change in a month. It can change it in a month.
It can change just like that. It can change just.
But I
like
do think that what's important too to know about this is like. I remember people telling me before I started taking this medication all the time when I would worry and I had obsessive anxiety and worry, right? Like, Kim, there's nothing you can do about it. Why worry about it? Or do you just have to focus on today and live like there's no tomorrow and shit like that? Here's the thing. I always was like, come on. Like, I know that sounds great. But my brain just doesn't work like that. Like, I would love to be that person. But truly with this medication, we really do only have today. That's it. Everything can change tomorrow. And that's why we see people stacking boxes, right? Because you do
I stacked as long as I could.
Yeah. That's why I do it. Like, not the way you're thinking, but I refill early. When you can refill, when that time is, I do it without fail. And if I'm refilling at a low dose, then I'm refilling at a low dose. If I'm refilling at a high dose, then I'm refilling at a high dose. But I will maximize my benefits because I know exactly what happens because I see it every day in lives in our
because this happens just like clockwork every year around the same time of the year. In the spring and the summer, we know that the PBMs are going to act even nuttier than they already are.
The crazy thought that I just had to myself because the night before I have to go to my physical, I fill cake orders all the time. I have a cake in my refrigerator right now. I'd be like, yeah, I'll go eat that entire cake and get my blood taken in the morning. I'm not. Yeah. I would.
I get it.
Yeah.
I know. I get it. I mean, like,
I get sick.
And there are plenty of people that will do whatever it takes. Like, whatever.
I'm not encouraging anyone to do that. Please don't do that. I'm just being.
No, I know you're not, Kat. You're just speaking personal. I know, I get it. But I
You're
would say
just
most people are.
talking.
But yeah, you're just talking, Kat. Like, but I'm just saying, like, it's not like people haven't thought that, right? It's not like everybody. I'm sorry, but it's not like everybody hasn't thought, what do I do? What do I do? You know, because
Eat a
like
bag
I
of cookies
said,
before you go to the doctor.
it's sick people that need medicine. Period. It's not fat people that don't want to get or that are skinny now that don't want to get fat again. That's not what it is, you know? And we can't, people, all right,
Jenny?
everybody in here, don't ever call these weight loss meds, please.
They are obesity
We have to
treatments.
change things. We have to change the way we talk about it, or it's never going to change.
Obesity treatment.
Your open enrollment is coming up.
These,
you need to, yes, Chris.
yeah, these
Diversity, equity,
these are
and inclusion.
medications that regulate metabolic dysfunction. They
Yes.
regulate metabolic dysfunction.
Which
the
causes
weight is a byproduct of
inflammation.
something.
Exactly.
That
All
part.
the weight on you is a symptom of your disease, point blank, period. Right? That's why they're
That's
not.
it. That's it.
Yeah. Treatment for chronic weight loss. That part.
Look, that part. Because
it's going to be more and more people on compound. But you know what bothers me about this too is there's so many people who don't know about this show, right? There's so many, like we have really, like guys, we're slaying it for the first year, okay? But we know how many people are sick and don't know about our show, right? We know how many people are sick and aren't connecting with specialists. We know how many people are sick and are using Groupons and paying $50 for fucking what they think is
They go to a med spa and then if they get sick, they're not getting coverage.
Or paying hundreds of dollars a month to a med spa, or they're going and buying stuff online from the shopping cart without the care of a doctor. It's a huge problem. All it's going to push people to bad behavior and flipping.
They get the care they need.
Yes.
I was like what I just said. I'm just going to go eat a whole cake when I get my blood taken. Oh, your A1C won't go down. I don't know why.
That's what it is. It's
people. Well, you need to do it for like more than a day, love, because
I know I'm being facetious. I know. I don't know.
I'm sorry. Look,
and I remember
KT. She's like, from your friend that has diabetes.
I know.
It's going to take more than a night of cake.
You might need to do it a little longer.
No, that's not worth it. All those calories. No, and that's sick. No,
you're gonna need it at least for 3 months.
Well,
how about we just
it makes my stomach hurt.
We write a petition.
We get everybody to sign it, and then everybody sends a copy of it to their state representatives and
I've
their
done that.
federal
I have
representatives. We just have to continuously do it.
It's in my link tree. All of our TikToks link tree hit it's called TROA, treatment treat and reduce obesity act.
And we create more. We create more. We send as many.
Medicare sets the standard. So we've already gotten Medicare to approve Wegovy with obesity if you have a heart condition, right? But that was some clever shit. People don't realize they didn't get it. They didn't do it with it. They could have said it with Ozempic. They have the data that they could have been like, it's.
We have to cover it.
They specifically did it with Wegovy, which opens the door to have anti-obesity medications under Medicare, which means it's one step closer for it setting the standard for all insurance companies to require having anti-obesity. We want that, not just for our seniors, right? But for the future.
Obesity, food deserts, access to healthcare.
Yeah.
It's tragic. Like it all falls in perfect alignment, access to anything. It's
well, the access to pharmacies, they actually had a news story about how there are pharmacy deserts now, which we had been hearing about and we've been talking about, but in the state of Georgia, where nationwide large chains own about like 54% of the pharmacies. The rest are owned independently. Many independent pharmacies are having to close because they can't compete with the big chains. And now the government is trying to give more funding to smaller pharmacies because people are and we even have people in the community when CVS Caremark said that they weren't shipping out GLPs anymore. They're like, I rely on that. The nearest pharmacy to me is an hour away.
Yeah.
An hour.
And every month. And that's when you can probably find it. Now when you're running around, can we expense our mileage for looking for GLPs? No. No. Wait, is that a write-off? No, it's not. It's awful. I mean, this is just the beginning. That's the problem. Is like this is what we're seeing with Blue Cross, and like you said, it's going to trickle out to all of those states on top of Michigan. But we're going to see it with others too. We're going to see it with other PBMs and other insurance companies too. Like this is what happens. Well, they all follow suit. That's what they do.
They do. But remember, last year it was Optum RX that was like really gangster with it, and then Express Scripts was the one that was like approving everything. So last year I was with Optum.
I think I'd deal with Optum again. I got everything sent to me.
That's nice.
I don't mind dealing with Optum. I thought that Optum was good. I mean, CVS Caremark, I never did mail order.
Yeah.
I never did mail order with them. You know why? Because they never had the dosages. And I'm just like, why would I deal with you when I could just go up the street?
So it took them some time. They would eventually get it together.
Yeah.
Right on time. I still have a couple of boxes.
No, I'm sorry. We don't mean to depress you. I'm sorry, friend.
We have to
love the show. But then we got this news and it's been brutal.
On another note,
got anything positive?
Fashion and GLP1s.
Okay, more tea. Fashion and GLP-T.
So
let's do it.
Fashion and GLP1s. Actually, when was it? Yesterday? Good Morning America actually reported it. It was in the Wall Street Journal as well as the New York Post. They are, okay, wait a minute. Let me just show you what Good Morning America said. And you all know how I heart Good Morning America.
I do.
Okay. And they actually did a good job with this. And I said, okay, I tried to post it on TikTok. I got a violation. Okay. Yeah. So here it is. Here it is.
You can kind of hear.
Details on that, Eva. Good morning. Good morning. Recently, there's been a big push for retailers to have more inclusive options. But with a growing number of people using weight loss medications, companies are now finding themselves needing to expand their offerings for smaller sizes. This morning, the rising popularity of weight loss medications now shifting the shape of fashion. Before, I didn't really enjoy buying clothes for myself. I didn't feel confident enough. But it's exciting to shop now. Verona Robin, who uses the weight loss drug Mounjaro, lost 60 pounds. Robin says the weight loss
not a weight loss drug
does make the entire shopping experience more enjoyable all around. I'm happy and confident with how I look. So definitely it's opened the doors of where I can shop as opposed to before, where I just stuck to a size large or
and Roman
is not alone. With the growing use of medications like Wegovy, Ozempic, and Mounjaro, apparel companies seeing the weight loss as a potential gain for business. We're seeing 5% more demand in the smaller sizes than the larger sizes. And that's pretty dramatic for a retailer. You haven't seen that kind of shift in recent history. For Avi Madon's specialty dress store, Amara, they've even begun changing the way they make their clothing to fit with the times. Within the past year and a half, we've seen more of a shift to more bodycon and fitted styles, something more edgier versus before, girls were willing to wear like A-lines and ball gowns as well. Rent the Runway noticing another trend when it comes to their consumers. So what would traditionally happen is someone would rent a dress in a size 10 for a special event, and they would get the size 12 as a backup. We're seeing more and more of those backup sizes actually being lower sizes now as people are losing weight. The question now, is this a trend that will last or just another fashion fad? For Emily Classen, who also uses GLP-1 medications for weight loss, she says she's enjoying enjoying her new size and having fun with fashion. I didn't have confidence to go into stores and actually try on clothes because everything was so disappointing. And now I have confidence walking into stores. I know my size is going to be in there. I don't have to hope my size is going to be available. I know it's going to be available. And this creates a really interesting moment for retailers who are wanting to cater to buyers of all sizes in a time when sales are down. How this shapes inventory, especially long term, is something we'll have to wait to see, guys.
How is this a thing? Here's what blows my mind, guys. The data shows not even 10% of the country are on these medications. How is this? How is this even like a thing?
Just when,
ma'am,
just when we were fighting for size inclusivity.
No wonder the body positivity people hate us.
Bothers me. The story bothers me because I'm still plus.
I am too.
And that was always my issue with like Lululemon, them other like the bougie activewears. Oh, they'll go up to a size 20 and that's it. Like that. This bothers me because it's never been on.
Come on, Kat.
Like, just when we're fighting to get size inclusivity in the stores, now they're saying we don't need it anymore. Let's just go back to the way it was and put you in the big and fluffy section on the 8th floor of Macy's.
Yeah, girl. That's what it was
like. This
Mm.
bothers me. I thought we were supposed to keep it like the vibe up, but that's one thing, and that's why I still shop Torrid, my Torrid activewear.
Yeah.
I'll wear the
I'm
zeros.
sorry.
Yeah.
It bothers me because
I thought that.
Okay, PBMs. Okay.
I'm sorry. I thought talking about clothes would help.
True. I mean, yes. Oh, yeah. And
well, it's harder for Kat. Like, look, like ultimately, like it's harder for Kat and I, and probably, I mean, I would say, I don't know if it's just because like Kat and I are creators and like there just maybe aren't a lot, but I would say that most people that have been on these medicines 1 and 2 years are not still plus size, and Kat and I are, right? So, I don't mind it. I'm okay. But I would tell you that it would concern me because I'm one size away from like I'm a 16, but I can wear extra larges and things in straight sizes now, which is really cool. You know, oh, hello, Dixie.
Big man and little dog. Big man and
a
little
dog.
Big man and a little cat. Smile.
I'm smiling. I'm definitely smiling. I felt like I need to go open up the Torrid website so I can go find a Betsy Johnson bustier.
I really
that's
think
everything. Betsy is plus size. Like, yeah, I get it. I mean, it's great. It's great that we're all normal sizes, and that's fantastic.
And that's fantastic. But there are plenty of people that genetically will not be normal sizes. I'm still a 16. Like
So
when I went and tried to buy, like, you know what I'm saying?
Okay again for like Victoria's Secret to say, well, we don't sell clothes for big girls, you know, or you just
No, I'm sorry. Aren't you on Ozempic? I can't even.
16
but like this
and sexy, baby. Size 16 and sexy.
I think I'm very.
Thank you, Bear.
Size 16.
Go Kim.
I sold a swimsuit today on that's my NSV this week, y'all. I did a swimsuit on the internet and I sold one.
Ooh.
Y'all, if I wasn't so selfish, y'all should see the black swimsuit that she had on last night.
John
last night
he was watching his iPad while I was trying it on.
Yeah,
John,
she was counted off of the shop.
I was watching his iPad and he goes, "What is that?" I need to see that. And I was like,
it's like,
He goes, "This one's only for home." I was like, and TikTok. And he's like, okay.
Yeah, y'all, if I wasn't so selfish.
Are having real difficulties right now. Yeah. You know, it is a lot, you know.
It's a lot to take in. I get it. Like
it is a lot.
I just feel like, so it's a lot to take in. Mm-hmm. There's so many levels to it.
Because from someone that used to work in retail and wholesale, for some, I won't say the companies, but that was my major. Yeah. From a business standpoint, I see what they're saying because you're going by the SKUs, you're going by your analytics of, okay, so we used to carry, for example, size 10 and size 12s, and we would sell those out. But oh yes, aren't they? But now we see we're selling size 4s and size 6s, and we're selling those out faster, but yet we may still have size 10 and size 12 left. I'm not saying that it's right,
Yeah.
but I understand from an analytical
I
point
think,
of view,
yeah, I think
because
before it starts
Following
selling.
the data
because
makes sense, but I just
that's
don't
what I used to
understand.
do.
It must be because everybody's on compound. That's what I'm saying. Like, it must be
Well, it
because
has
if
to
we
be.
look at the data for what's being prescribed, less than 10% of the people in this country are on this medication. Actually, I believe the prediction was it's going to take 3 years before 9%, because I was watching the thing with Nestle. Right, because Nestle's now saying they're making a line for people of food for people on GLPs, because they know there's a bunch of them now and they know there will be a bunch of them in the future. But still, they are making changes for less than 10% of the population. Right,
Because they know
no
that it's
change.
going to be more than 10.
Yeah, I mean, it's brilliant.
eventually.
It's brilliant. Yeah, like I think it's great that they're making the change to me. And if you're making that instead of making a bunch of ho-hos, I'm okay with it. I don't want a ho anymore. But regardless, like, I mean, my point being, like,
wait a
if you
minute.
look at like John and I argue a lot about like the whole Toys R Us and Amazon thing.
You guys argue?
Oh yeah, sure.
Don't take
like
away my
Toys R Us and
ho-hos.
Amazon.
Leave my kids alone, too.
And I love Toys R Us. Toys R Us was the best place to be able to get toys. I'm
It's
sorry, it just was.
experience.
Like,
Yeah.
Theo Schwartz was pretty good, but like for my sports part, like Toys R Us was the jam.
Yeah,
Toys
it
R Us
was.
didn't see the Amazon thing coming until it was too late, and they didn't make a
No.
pivot until it was too late.
No,
So
what
they
it was
started
is a bunch
doing-
of selfish millennials and Gen Zers deciding that they didn't want to go to the store anymore and buying all this stuff online and forgetting about the brick and mortars, the lifeblood of this country.
spoken like a true
Boomer.
80-year-old. Thank you, John.
Okay,
It's a good story, Grandpa. That was a good story.
Oh, Dixie liked it.
Dixie liked that story.
Dixie loves her daddy.
Okay, bye, John. Oh, we lost JT. Okay.
She had to get up. Something.
We're getting
so I'm
close. I
saying.
think that was her last tea, so we're getting done.
Is that Dixie?
I don't know. Did you text us?
Okay.
You gotta love alive. You gotta love alive. What is it?
Oh, the biscotti ice. Oh my gosh, those look amazing.
Ooh, that looks glutinous and delicious. You know what you need? You need your Delta
They're
Barbie.
buy
I still
one,
haven't
get
seen
one
after a
free.
year of being friends. Delta Barbie next to the biscotti. That would go viral. That shit would go viral.
Actually, I need to see this Delta Barbie as well. JT?
Well, won't bring it up. It's in a
Seriously,
safe place.
JT? We
She
need to
refused
see
to
the
go too.
JT, we need to see the Delta Barbie, ma'am. I'm
She
gonna
needs Delta
dance
Barbie.
if I don't get to see the Delta Barbie.
Dance, John.
I will. I will dance. I will stand up and dance
Gotta
right
go
now.
get it. It's in a place. All right,
Dance.
everybody, if you
So-
agree that JT needs to show us the Delta Barbie, put it in the comments.
Yeah.
Yes,
Delta
please.
Barbie
Delta Barbie.
Barbie.
with the
Delta
biscotti.
Barbie.
Delta Barbie. Delta Barbie.
Next time.
Delta
That will
Barbie.
be
Dixie
on
does Delta
Delta
our
Barbie.
next
Delta
live.
Barbie.
Our next live.
Yeah, she's like, look at her grooving.
Listen,
It will be on the 10th of
Listen.
July, because we're not going to do the 3rd because they know they're
Delta-
going to come to that. Yeah.
Delta told us
Yeah.
because so many flight attendants are on compound
Oh my God.
that
Which is
Delta
crazy. Delta
covered.
doesn't cover obesity
Delta
medicine.
covered it.
Not obesity. JT's not diabetes.
Delta does not cover obesity management medication.
Eli and Novo, you did us
Fucking
zero.
Delta,
favors.
guys.
Zero.
Make that make sense.
Delta
A self-insured company.
With their
self-insured,
own fuel company.
self-insured,
They make
self-insured.
They got their own fuel. Or fuel. What is it? Fuel.
We
they
do
have
have
their
our
fuel.
own fuel, but they
You think that's because most people that
My-
work with Delta, like in terms of the flight crew, they can't be. Is that is that a common misconception that there aren't people with obesity that are flight attendants? Am I wrong about that? I feel like it's something I heard a long time ago.
A long time. Yeah, I heard there was a weight
Be a
requirement.
flight
or
attendant
something.
because of flying in the air and like capacity. Is that
Mhm.
true? Is true?
there used to be a weight requirement.
Used to be.
When I started,
Mhm.
there was a large scale in the flight attendant lounge.
Oh my God.
And they had
Terrifying.
it there and
That's terrifying. Wow. A lot. Keep going. I want to hear all this.
And they said that, I mean, they wouldn't have you go and weigh yourself. Now, there used to be weekly weigh-in requirements. That was before I started. So they did stop that. But there was a large scale, I mean, like the industrial size scale
Oh my God, like
in the flight
ounces.
attendant lounge.
Oh my God.
Huh?
Like with the ounces, like where you hit the little thing. That kind
Yeah,
of
I
stuff.
mean, like pounds, ounces, everything. And I'll never forget it. And like it was just there, and they were like, yeah, if you just want to check your weight. It was like, oh, okay.
You just want to
And
check
I
your
think
weight.
I went on it like 2 or
That's
3 times, but
here you go.
our uniforms only go up to a certain number.
What size? You have to tell us.
Excuse me, I believe it's a size 26 or 28.
That's pretty big size.
That's inclusive. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty inclusive. Yeah.
So, but allegedly,
allegedly,
there, allegedly, a few years ago, there was a person that was called into the office because of their weight. So, but that was years ago. And so now I do not believe that that practice still happens. However,
I hope not.
You cannot use a seatbelt extension when you're sitting on the jump seat.
Oh,
If
wow.
you do require a seatbelt extension,
there's a problem.
That's a problem.
Yeah.
I
Is that
still
an
have
FTA requirement, JT, or a
for
Delta
my-
requirement? Is that? I mean,
that
not FTA.
is an that
Not FTA.
that is both.
What is
That
the
is
requirement?
both.
It's FTA, isn't it?
Or
It is both.
FFA, right?
FAA.
FAA.
Federal, yeah.
FAA. Mhm. Yeah. And just like if a person sits in the exit rows, you cannot have a seatbelt extension.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Per the FAA. Correct.
And you have to be able to speak and read English.
Correct.
Thanks, John.
No,
Thanks,
no,
Bear.
Yeah. Fair, thank you. Yeah. So if a person, even if they bring their own seatbelt extension and they sit in the exit row, we have to move you.
Yeah.
You cannot sit in the exit row for safety.
Asking for a seatbelt extension is the worst feeling.
I invested in them when I was.
I didn't
really,
know.
really
I didn't know you could buy one outside.
You could just buy them off Amazon, and I still have them. If anybody in the community, if you're still on a journey and you need them, you can have them. So.
Yeah. And it's so painful when I know for me, if that happens, I always bend down. I always talk very softly.
Yeah.
So I'm not broadcasting that you can't sit here.
Yeah.
And I've always been very cognizant of that.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You know?
So many mean
Yeah. So
I can't help it.
I asked for one once. I was in the very front in Delta Comfort. So, and
nice.
I couldn't get it together. And the attendant said, "We don't have any, so just hold it."
Yeah.
Hold your seatbelt. Just hold yourself in place when we take off. Do you know, I almost I sat and it was a window seat. And I just was like, I was like, don't you start crying. Don't you start. But then a few years later, I don't know. It's the 40itis. I don't care. I would be like, excuse me, can I get an extender? Like I just got to a point where I gave zero shits.
Yeah.
And that's when I when I bought the extenders. I don't care. And am I flying Southwest or am I flying Delta or Americans? Because there's two different, kinds of seatbelts.
Wow.
So which one do I pack today?
Correct.
Jeez Louise.
Yeah. One time an attendant came to me. He was very kind. He walked up to me and he had it. And he was like, "Do you need this?" I said, "I'm fine." And he just kept on walking. Like it was discreet as hell. He was smooth. He was smooth.
Yeah. What I do, so before each flight, we're supposed to check we're supposed to have a certain number of seatbelt extensions depending on the aircraft type.
How small
So
they
the
make them
fact
planes
that
now?
shall listen.
Small they
So
make them seats now?
Yeah.
that is part of our pre-flight check. So we're,
really?
doing all of that. And if we don't have the correct number, maintenance has to bring up the difference
I never knew that.
in number.
Oh, so they were kind of like breaking the rules there, and they're like, "Oh, we don't have any, so just hold yourself in place."
Well, the thing is, it depends on how many people on that. It actually could have gone one of two ways. It depends on how many people on the flight needed a seatbelt extension.
True.
Wow.
Or
Good point.
or the crew didn't do their pre-flight check correctly.
Yeah. Jeez.
So it's one of the two, because usually depending on the aircraft, we have seatbelt extensions in the front. And usually before we board, if I'm flying lead flight attendant, I always get about at least 3 to 4 extensions. So I have them within my reach.
Yeah.
Within my reach. And it's just because you don't want to have a long drawn out conversation. You want it to be as discreet as possible.
Yeah.
And I know at the airline I work for at Delta, we do our best to not put anyone on blast or anything like that.
No, like I always fly Delta if I can. I'll fly Southwest if I have to. But other than that, like I'm probably not gonna fly. Like this is like what it goes down to. It's just like
Well,
I didn't even
I'm
care.
bougie about some things. After I hit my 40s, I'm like
Southwest is having their birthday sale, like $53 a ticket.
One way, and the ticket you buy home is $600. I've done it.
Probably
true, but look, but I mean, but Delta, I think Delta was voted number one airline again.
Yeah.
And so
these sisters like this.
Thank you. Look, thank you to all that fly Delta and voted us number one. Thank you. We do appreciate it.
All right. Do we have any more tea, or are we about done? I think that's about it for this live.
That's it.
We done with tea? Yeah. Okay.
So
So we'll do another live, but it'll be 3 weeks when we do the next one, just because I don't think anybody's gonna come on July 3rd. I love you.
No, it's a holiday.
Ain't nobody coming on July 3rd.
Oh, yeah,
We've had 10 people say they want the Delta Barbie when you on the next live.
That's a lot of people. If you add me
a lot,
and Bear and Kat,
that's 13. 13 people want to see Delta
I
Barbie.
want to see that god awful
What do you
Delta
think
Barbie.
about Sabrina? Sabrina, you want to tell it?
Sabrina 14. Madam.
Sabrina want it? Yeah.
And Rin wants to see it too. That's 15.
We love you too, Karen.
Oh God. Okay.
15 people.
Okay.
Yeah, too. Okay.
And Dixie would like to see it, plus Kratos and Raven. That's 18.
Dixie.
Can we get another Dixie appearance?
Listen. I will get the Delta Barbies out. I saw it downstairs and I said, oh God, here's this Barbie.
I'm gonna need to see it. And I want to see the Biscoff right next to it.
Yeah.
Oh God.
You know what you should do? You should get the little Biscoff cookie, put a little cream cheese on it, and do a little lime thing. And be like, "Oh, the Barbie's eating the Biscoff. What do you call that again? That you made the key lime
cheesecake, the key lime
pie.
Key lime
And
pie.
before everybody logs off, this is just my little bit of history based off of JT mentioning the scale that used to be at Delta. That is actually a remnants of the old days of when they first started having flight attendants. And just like the cocktail girls in Las Vegas, they were actually able to specify your employment based off of your weight and your measurements. If your weight and your measurement did not fall within the line of what they specified, they could fire you on the spot. Nothing else needed. That's what that's
what they smoke all the time.
Wow.
Correct.
They smoked all the time.
Correct.
And they could fire you for getting pregnant too.
Yeah. And most of them were on drugs.
They could fire you for getting married.
Yeah.
They could fire you for getting married. They could fire you for getting pregnant. And they could fire you if you started gaining weight.
Yep.
Wow.
Yes, Karen,
That's
it
why
is a
we have
reminder
almond
we've come a
moms.
long
And that
way.
really it explains so much. That's why we have almond moms.
Yeah.
Yeah. Explains
Um,
way too much.
So what I heard was that the expectation has been set that when we come reconvene for our live on July 10th, we will see Delta Barbie.
Yes,
That's what I
We
heard.
will.
we will.
And if
It's
you
a
don't
good
have
sign.
it, you'll pay a piper. I don't know what the piper is, but I'll come up with something. Guys, quick, come up with something.
I have an idea. We'll just drive to her house.
That's true. We do live close. Kat lives the closest.
We'll make her put on a Delta
I
sash.
actually have 2 Delta Barbies.
No, what I'm saying, you're going to make her put on a Delta sash, not Delta, the airline, but you're going to have to do something. You have to put on elephant earrings.
Googling, figuring out how much some Delta Barbies.
Oh God! Oh
Especially
God!
if Delta were to ever go out of business.
I got it good, didn't I? Yep.
Retirement plan, Barbie. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, I
It
bet
might
those,
be worth some money. In fact, let me look that up.
oh, I bet they are.
Delta
Depending
Barbie?
upon how old they are, I bet
Are they
they're worth
still in the
some money.
box or are they on their own?
They're actually still in the box, and one is when we had the red, white, and blue uniform,
Cute.
and the other one is when we had those god awful gray uniforms and we looked like prison wardens.
I remember.
Now you have purple, and it's
They're
so
changing
nice.
them though, right? I think they're
The
changing
purple
them.
and the pink, right? It's so cute.
Mm-hmm.
We are changing uniforms again.
Oh wow!
T, Delta T.
Yeah. Oh, I wasn't supposed to say that out loud. Yeah, we are changing uniforms again.
Oops.
Said it twice. Said it twice. Not quite
We
there,
are.
but give it a few more years.
All right.
A few more years.
Yeah, I'm looking it up. I have access to
We
things.
need to end on a good
And-
note, guys. This was such a sad thing with the Blue
We
Cross
gotta-
Blue Shield.
We just talked about a beautiful
sorry.
thing. JT
Keep
is
hope
going to
up,
bring,
guys.
JT is going to bring out Delta Barbie.
You
I've
have
given
Delta
a
Barbie.
history
we
lesson.
need something to look forward to with all the sad news.
I was
Me.
gonna say every time, Bear, every time we open up our TikToks to post, I'm gonna tell everybody to go to my link tree to sign the Treat and Reduce Obesity Act.
You know, I think I'll start putting it in the show notes too. Don't you think, Bear?
Yes.
Yes, and we should really, guys. Honestly, we should
And
start
we
another
gotta
one.
get our friends to do it. You have to
Yeah.
email it to your family, your friends and family, people
Yeah,
who
and
love
we-
you. If you
And
love
we should really
me,
start a second one too. Like there needs to be more of these out there.
go to
That way
change.org.
they,
You're right.
yeah,
You're
that
right.
way they flood our representatives.
Oh my
and you
gosh!
want to
Thank
flood,
you, Kevin.
Thank you
you
so
want to
much,
flood
Kevin.
everybody. Like not
Guys,
just
we
some of them.
appreciate your
Oh my gosh,
membership
Kevin,
so
thank
much. Thank
you.
you so much. and
Yes,
your
thank you,
donation.
Kevin. That's
You
awesome.
really help us keep going. People have no idea how much time this takes.
Yeah, guys. A lot of
And
When you guys watch those
all
episodes,
honored to do it, but it is still a lot of time away
the
from us.
roughness that I feel.
The roughness that you, it's okay.
Yeah, the
from not
roughness.
having
that I
me.
feel.
Well, it's better now that you get to hang out on the lives a little.
Yeah. Well, when you don't kick me off because I talk
Be like that. Oh, I'm just kidding.
because I talk bad about your demigod.
You can't talk about the demigod. Oh, that's the best thing I've ever heard. Over the demigod.
Demigod. Oh, Oprah.
Or for the demigod. It is facts. These are facts. Facts and evidence.
Your demigod.
Receipt.
She is my demigod.
She is.
Oh.
That's why I said
Oh
it.
my gosh! An Eli Lilly commercial. Oh my gosh! Talking about obesity.
We have new tea. A new
So I was gonna say that when Eli
yeah,
Lilly said it's gonna require
the Eli Lilly commercial in black and white. Oh shit!
Good night, Sabrina. We love you.
Oh yeah. Good
Night,
night,
Sabrina.
Good night.
Good night.
Sabrina, did you vote for the Delta Barbie?
Everybody votes.
She did. I think.
We win.
Oh God!
It is a huge responsibility, JT, in order to make everybody's heart full.
Yeah.
It's like the
We're
one
gonna
that
need to
you
see
see right
Delta
now.
Barbie.
We're gonna need to see Delta Barbie.
I see
July
a Delta
10th.
Barbie.
Mark your calendars. July 10th.
Yep. And I will cry if I don't get to see a Delta
Oh, dear
Barbie.
God. John crying is a hard thing. You don't want that.
Oh no!
Any kind of big man crying is
I
just
will.
Is your
I
Delta
will
Barbie a
go-
brunette, or were they making black Barbies back then when you got yours?
They did.
Were they inclusive?
Ooh, is she a black Barbie too? She's a black Delta Barbie.
I do have a black Delta Barbie.
Good.
And a Caucasian Delta Barbie. But
Cool.
here it is. Here is the Eli Lilly commercial. Obesity is a matter of health.
It is.
Shame has no place in it.
Okay, but okay.
Lilly, a medicine company, and it's in black and white.
Okay.
It like just aired.
This is where I have ideas, but I
Lilly,
think
a medicine company. God,
It said a medicine company.
They're the best marketers.
They are. But what as you all can see, I did 2 craps. I don't care. That's words. Share the link to your friends and family, and I think we should start something else, change.org.
Share it on Facebook.
Yeah.
There is a change.org one, guys. There's already
There
one.
is, yeah. So share it with your friends and family.
Karen, thank you for becoming a member.
Awesome.
Yay.
Thank you, Karen.
All of our members get early content. We get early content.
Yeah.
We don't
get to see the content.
If we had more time, we would have extra content, but none of us have enough time.
You can watch Kim and John argue.
Yes, you
can. Just make video of Kim and John arguing.
Yeah, we should just set up the camera every time that happens. We'd have great extra content.
Just put the camera in the room while you guys are doing edits.
We used to do the Man of Many Faces with Rennie, and that was good content.
That was with Rennie.
We could just do a debate thing. Me and you debate about something. We could post that as the extra content.
To debate, bro.
No,
I would just be like, John, go to bed.
No.
You do. Oh, guys, I have something to kind of lighten the mood.
$13.
So Kim says that my plus size bottle is beat to death, and it is.
It sure is.
But here's what happened, and how it got beat down like this.
Oh dear God.
Party with the plus sides. After we were done at the garage in Atlanta, I had a leftover case of the Tectons, the energy drinks that we handed out, right? And I put this on the top of the case, and I had to have my friend, my bestie Beverly, go get my car and bring it to the venue. This thing dropped. It fell, and it rolled under my car.
Oh my God.
So you have us 2 idiots. Where is it? Beverly's like, it is right behind your passenger side wheel. Shit. So where she pulled my car up to, it's a brewery and it's full of people. If you imagine my car, the parking was behind us, but my car was in the road in front of people. I had to drive into people. So she said, I'm going to go flag people down. We had to move people out of the way. Excuse me, people drinking.
Get my water bottle.
I need to get my plus size water bottle. And so I drove into the crowd of people.
Oh God, Kat.
I needed my water bottle back.
Can we?
That's dedication to the plus side.
That's brutal.
That's dedication, Kat. That's loyalty.
It flaked all off in here. It's brutal. Like the reason why it's all like this is because it rolled on gravel.
Oh my God.
Beverly is like, hold on. Don't hit people. Don't get. Hold on. No.
It's not water devotion.
It's driving into
married
a
to the bottle. She loves that.
Over my bottle, I was like,
all of that happened.
Good bottle. But it's taking a beating because Kat takes it to spin class
every morning.
Yeah.
Oh, my new Stanley. I love my new Stanley.
It is cute.
Oh,
she's cute.
Big John cup.
Yep.
Big John
it's
cup.
A huge one. Big. Yep. I love it. I have another one that I got that's got little fancy script on it, but it's only the 40 ounce.
Yeah.
One. But
only
I did
40. It's all right.
I found a flask on there.
No flask.
It is so cool. So cool. It's like $50 though.
Honey.
But it's a
alcohol just makes you poop. I need you to just commit that to memory.
It just makes you poop.
Listen,
that's it.
I still want the flask. I don't care.
Poop, sweat. It's not good for you.
No,
man.
not my good scotch. My good scotch doesn't do that to me. When
You're
I
not
drink
drinking those Budweisers anymore?
No, when I drink good scotch, it doesn't make me poop.
I have somehow taken a redneck from Missouri and made him bougie. That's how you know I'm bougie.
Because all he used to drink when I knew him was just Budweiser.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean,
I'm really
now he
glad.
likes Guinness, which makes him poop. And
well, the Guinness is really the
Guinness
the
does make you
extras.
poo. Guinness is
It
like food.
does because it's basically like liquid. It's a liquid meal.
It's food.
Yeah. It's a
Guinness with
liquid
some
meal.
poutine and Guinness.
I love Guinness. I mean, especially like the extra stout.
I was raised in the Midwest. We had cheese, potatoes, and beef.
Baby, can we make some scallop potatoes this week?
Oh Lord! See, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that to you, Kim. Sorry.
No, I'm all right with that. I got some. It's gluten free. I got it in the pantry.
Yeah, let's make.
We
some
had salads and chicken breast.
At this point, we should probably let these poor people.
Yeah, we're letting these poor people go.
I love you guys. Thanks for hanging with us tonight. We love
roll
you.
the footage.
And we will see you July 10th with Delta Barbie.
Oh, we only ran the footage once this episode.
Oh, run it again. Guys, we got to run the bean footage right quick. We forgot to run.
Are you interested in understanding GLP-1 medications like Ozempic, Wegovy, or Mounjaro? Then join us on the Plus Side, Cracking the Obesity Code, the groundbreaking podcast helping people change their lives one episode at a time. The Plus Side's podcast is a disruptor. We're breaking down barriers, smashing stereotypes, and sharing inspiring stories that'll leave you feeling informed and empowered. Join us every week to learn from doctors who are specialists around GLP-1 medications like Ozempic, Wegovy, and Mounjaro. They'll provide you with science and facts to validate these incredible stories. But that's not all. We'll also bring you the voices of the GLP-1 Mounjaro TikTok community, real people who face the challenges of obesity-related diseases and disorders and discovered the incredible plus sides of GLP-1 medications. Our episodes are filled with heartwarming stories, laughter, and moments of triumph. You'll connect with our amazing community members who are reclaiming their health and experiencing their fullest lives. Are you ready to embark on a journey of discovery and empowerment? Tune in to the Plus Sides, Cracking the Obesity Code, and together we'll change the narrative around obesity and end the stigma. Subscribe now on YouTube or your favorite podcast platform and join our incredible community. Let's celebrate the plus sides of life together because every story deserves to be heard. Every life deserves to shine, and everyone deserves access to expert knowledge and medication. The Plus Sides Podcast. You're not alone. It's not your fault.
We love you guys. We'll see you next week.
Love you guys. Mwah.